Hey guys, welcome to Red's Projects. This episode's going to be all about the XR6. You can see it there in the background. I got the opportunity to put it on a hub dyno, which I've wanted to do for a long time because I've tried to run it on a roller dyno before and it's been very hard to get a clean run without it spinning the wheels or getting heat soaked or whatever. So I managed to get some good dyno runs of it on that. I'll show you that footage at the end of this video. Little spoiler, it clears 400 kilowatt very easy, so that's exciting. But the main reason I'm making this video is this is going to be the last video with this car. So I've been advertising it for a while and I've got someone that's bought it. It's sold. So he's going to be picking it up in 2 days. So I thought I'd just make one final video with the car. Actually, I'm going to give it a good wash now. And what I'm going to do to make this video more exciting is add a whole bunch of short little videos that mates and passengers and stuff have taken of me doing fun stuff in the car. So I'll put a bunch of those videos in to make the video a bit more fun and exciting. And then at the end of the video, we'll get to the hub dyno results. So we'll start off with a nice healthy power skid. Alright, so first of all I should probably explain why I'm selling it. So I've had this car for at least 10 years now, and my original plan with the car was to have a 10-second street car that would commute to work real easy. You could drive it to the shops and then you could drive it to Heathcote, Calder, swap tyres and run a mid to high 10-second pass. Because at the time they were really strict about roll cages, and pretty much if you got into the 10s you got kicked out of Calder and stuff. So that was my goal, was to have a car that would get to that point, and in my eyes there was no point going much faster because you'd need a roll cage and a whole bunch of other safety stuff I didn't want to do. So that was the goal, was a 10-second car. So a few years ago, after doing many upgrades and working on the car for years and years and racing it a lot, I managed to hit that 10-second goal, which I'd done a video on a few years ago. And since then I've raced it once or twice more, and same thing, drove to the track, ran 10s, drove home, towing a trailer, doing all that stuff, and the car did it easy. So I achieved my goal with it. Now, to go much faster, obviously I'm going to need a roll cage. I'd want to go to a bigger turbo. I'd probably want to, if I want to go really fast, I'd put a solid axle in it. So everything to make the car go faster beyond my goal is very expensive. And the way the car is now is really good. It's a really good street car. It's still got IRS, it's still comfortable. The turbo's small and responsive, and it's good the way it is. So I can never justify taking the next step with it. And the car's heavy as well. So if I want to take all that luxury stuff out, it'll get lighter, but it's a 1900 kilo car. So it's always going to be harder to get down the track. And that was part of the reason why I bought the XG, because it's an older car, it's lighter to start with, and I strip more weight out of it. It has less luxury things to worry about. So that was the next logical step. So that's pretty much the reasons why I'm selling it. I've had it in this state for a couple of years now, and besides just maintenance and servicing and stuff, I haven't done anything to it because I don't need to. And it's also hard just to do upgrades on it because it's got the factory ECU and it's locked to a particular tuner. I can't just make some upgrades and just go on the laptop and just do it myself. To get to that stage, I have to put a Heltec on it as well, which, same thing, more money. So in my eyes, I wasn't doing anything with it. I wasn't going forward with it. I was just driving it and enjoying it the way it was. should probably give you a bit of a history lesson with the Falcon. So I bought it when I was still on my P plates. So I was young, I would have been 20 I think when I bought it. I bought it from a gentleman named Bruce. It's not his real name, but it doesn't matter. He worked with my old man, and he used to do a lot of Ks in it. And it was completely bone stock, and it was 5-speed manual. So it was one of the first BA XR6 turbos, because I think towards the end of BAs maybe they had 6 speeds. I know BFs definitely had 6-speed manuals, but it was the 5-speed manual, the one that no one wants. Did the usual things to start with. I put a pod filter on it, so I made spoolie sounds. Put a blow valve on it, so I made fully 6 sounds. I did the middle muffler delete, which a lot of people would do, and I think the next major modification I did was do the auto swap on it. So the motor was still completely stock, it was stock tuned, so it was still making very little power. And then I spent all the money to put a C9 3-speed in it. Then after that, I think the next major thing was when I built the engine, because back then, the early BA red top motors, you couldn't make more than 300 kilowatt without, you know, bending a rod and breaking a rod. So my thought was to just take my original motor, put it under the bench, and build a new motor that had stronger parts in it. And that's exactly what I did. My old motor is still under the bench. It was an NA motor that I put rods and pistons in. It's got billet oil pump gears. It's got ARP head studs and Crow valve springs. So just the basics. And the bottom end was assembled by Wayne Cartledge, which sadly he's passed away now, but he assembled the short motor. It probably was after I had the motor built for a while, was when I talked with Blue Power and had it tuned for the first time, and it went from 180 kilowatt to like 230 or 220. He gave me some stuff to do. I did those things, took it back, it made 270 kilowatt, I think. After I made 270, I think I put a dump pipe, high flow cat, I can't remember what, maybe a bigger intercooler. Yeah, I think it was, I put the front man, the big Niz Pro intercooler that's in it now. I'm pretty sure it made 320 kilowatt like that. The next step after that was when I put it on E85. I changed the fuel pump in the tank, a Plasma Man surge tank with an 044 pump at the front. I put the plenum on as well, the Plasma Man plenum. I changed my piping. I put the intake pipe that's on it that goes down behind where the fog light is, so the intake pipe's really short. I changed to Plasma Man hot side piping. At some point I put a cat back exhaust on it. So I had a Venom dump pipe, cat, and then I did a Venom twin 2.5-inch exhaust the rest of the way to the back. And that brought me up to 390 kilowatts on their dyno. But it was a completely different animal to drive. It had a lot more boost, had a lot more low down power, it had a lot more torque. And that's basically the way it's been all this time. So I did get the opportunity to run it on a roller dyno, which I've got the video for, which I'll show you shortly. And we were struggling a lot to make it hook up on the dyno. I had crappy tires. It's IRS, so it's hard to strap down tight. We had like 4 straps on it. We put like 4 dead batteries in the boot for weight. We put a TD42 crank in the boot for weight. And then we strapped it down and everything, and we got 1 clean run out of it. And it made 409 kilowatt. So I don't know why it made more on that. Every dyno is going to be different, but it made 409 on that dyno without cheating. And we made one clean run, and that was it. Like the next run, it was heat soaked. It made crap power. It was pulling power. It was doing all sorts of weird things, and I was like, that's it. I just wanted a dyno sheet that said 400 on it. Alright, now this is yuck. Does anyone else have E85 and notice this? It's like around the fuel cap, it gets sticky and you get all this stuff stuck to it. Anyway, so my experience with this car has been a good one. I've learnt a lot. It's taught me a lot. I went everything backwards, but because of that, I didn't break anything. I've never broken an axle or a drive shaft or a diff or a motor or anything. Nothing. I haven't broken anything. So that's been good. It's taught me how to drive better. It the way it is now is a bit of a handful. I wouldn't let. There's only a couple people that have driven it, and I've been nervously in the passenger seat the whole time. Whereas my XG, even though it's probably just as fast as this, you can roll into it and it doesn't spin the tyre, it just goes, it's fast. I can let anyone drive this thing, but this car, I don't know if it's IRS or it's just because it's a little turbo and it comes in really quickly and really violently, you can roll into it in top gear and it's 50-50 whether it's just going to hook and go or it's going to spin and try and put you into a ditch. So yeah, for that reason I don't let many people drive it. But yeah, it's been a good time. The only thing that's probably bad is like working on it sometimes, like having to take turbo and stuff off takes a while. Taking the motor out, like when I put the good motor in, seemed like such a big job that I never wanted to do again. Even though I look at it now, it's probably not that bad. Whereas the LS in my Ford Ute, that's just like a day job to swap the motor over or pull the trans out or anything like that. So yeah, it's I like working on cars. So if a car's hard to work on, it doesn't interest me as much. How dirty this is. And washing it probably like once a year is pretty normal. But I live on a dirt road, so cars always get filthy here. But I thought it would be a nice thing to do to give it a wash before the new owner comes and grabs it. So, speaking of the new owner, me and him have got along really well. We're both got that car guy disease. So he's got a lot of cars, a lot of fun cars like me, and we've got along really well. So I could tell after he came and looked at it that I wanted him to buy it because he looked at it the way I look at it, and I've had it for 10 years. It'd be good to see progress on it, what he does to it. I'm sure it'll be quicker and he'll do stuff that I wanted to do that just I never got around to. Time for someone else to have fun and time for me to put the money I get from this towards other cars and time, the effort, the space. One of the big things about getting rid of this car is I've got a shed full of spares. And the new owner doesn't really have space for all the stuff, so I'm going to have a massive clean out and I'll try and sell off what's worth money, but a lot of it is probably going to get scrapped because I just hang on to a lot of junk that I probably don't need, but I'm going to get a lot of shed space back. once this goes. Are you getting sick of hearing me talk yet, or what? I hope that you're enjoying all these little clips of little power skids and all that sort of fun stuff that I've gathered over the years. I'm definitely running out of daylight now. You can see the sun is definitely set behind me, so it'll be dark pretty soon. I want to try and get most of this cleaned, or at least most of it scrubbed off, and then tomorrow maybe I'll take it to the car wash just to go over any parts I've missed and get the last little bits of it. But that's pretty much it for the history and everything on this. What I've achieved, what I'm happy with, all that sort of stuff. I better show you the hub dyno videos. So I did like 4 runs, made great power as you'll see in a second, and I'm very happy with how it performed. So that was a great finale to my experience with the car, was to make that sort of power pretty easily without having to do anything. It like I said, the car, the tune wise, power wise, hasn't changed for years, so it's just kind of cool to do that and show it off for the last time. I'm very happy with everything that's happened with the car. I'm very thankful for everyone that's subscribed to see this car and follow along its journey a little bit. I hope you stick around for other cars, but if you came here for this and now this is gone and you want to leave, then that's fine. Doesn't bother me at all. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the car as much as I have. And it's the end of an era. So that's it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.